Trade deadline August 1st. So, all right. Thank you for talking about this recent move. We're going to move on to buyers or sellers because I'm pumped about this. Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right. So we all know that the buyers are the teams that are in the game, are in the playoff push, and the sellers are like the Reds
Is that how
and
you
the
do
Twins.
it? Is that how you do this
I
game?
think that's how you do
I'm
it.
going to mention some
how about-
sellers here because they're obvious sellers. The A's, Reds, Twins, Padres, who just sold, and Braves, among many others. And some buyers, I don't know, Cubs, Orioles, Indians, other American League teams that are top of the division, like the AL East, like we just saw in Boston. So, Brandon, I'm going to start with you because we're talking AL first. I'm going to throw you the White Sox. Are they buyers or sellers? I feel like they're in this position a lot.
I think the White Sox they're in a better position than what they've been in years past. I think that right now at 45 and 43, they're in the thick of things They're in the thick of things in the wild card. The wild card is never a spot where I think that the White Sox will win. There's just teams better than them in there, I think. But I think that right now, just about any team of the top 4 teams in the AL Central could win the AL Central. So I put the White Sox as a buyer right now.
Of course they are, because that's the White Sox way. They got to buy.
Yeah, even if they have to sell, they'll buy.
Right. Ricky, over on the NL side, because you get it? You see where we're going this? Brandon's got the AL, Ricky's got the NL. Ricky, Pittsburgh Pirates. What do you think? Buyers or sellers?
They're a team that I'm going to say for right now, they're buyers. And the big thing they need is rotation. If you look at their rotation, everybody not named Norris Cole is Garrett Cole.
Norris Cole, though, man, if he was coming over to pitch for him.
That's one thing. Every starter not named Cole, 5.17 ERA.
Bad.
That's what I was pointing for him for because he usually says that. That's bad. That ain't good.
Yeah.
And the guy I'm looking like, there are guys that they can go out and get. They can get an Andrew Cashner. They can get a Michael Pineda. But I look at those two guys and I go, 3-8, 3-7.
Pineda's
one's
bad.
Got
Yeah, the Yankees would be like, yeah, you want Pineda? We don't.
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
Wait. One's got a 5.38. One's got a 5.4. The guy I think that the Pirates need to target, and this is a guy who would be maybe a true rental for them, Rich Hill. 9-3.
Sure, he's going to be in talks with a lot of teams.
2.25, and the thing that I'm wondering about Rich Hill, because him and Drew Pomeranz, who we just talked about, those were the two guys where if they needed pitching, those were the two main targets on my list.
Real quick on the
now
Pirates,
Drew's gone, but the one thing for Hill I wanted to throw out there, it's going to be
Go for it. Quick,
it's going to be interesting what his price is. What is going to be asked for? Are they going to sell him low because he's older, or are they going to sell him high because there is a big demand for pitching?
Well, I think teams understand the value of an aging pitcher and Rich Hill, who is really having a bounce-back season. But touching on the Pirates real quick, and then we'll move on, Brandon, to the next topic. Liriano, Cole, Jonathan East, who is going to be shopped. Jeff Locke, who's probably going to be shopped. Jameson Taillon, they're relying on young starting pitchers now. You're right. I look at the Pirates, and they're probably going to go fish for an arm. Brandon, let me ask you this.
All right, yeah.
New York Yankees, are they buyers or sellers?
The Yankees the Yankees are in an interesting spot. At 44 and 44, they've been bad. They've been real bad, but they may think, oh, maybe we could turn around here in the second half. We're right at even right now. Let's see what we could do. But I think at the end of the day, and we talked about the end of the day a lot on this show so far, I think they end up being sellers. I think they end up being sellers because if you look at their offense, it's not bad. They can still hit, they can still get some runs, and they can still score runs, and they can steal bases, but they're getting old. They need to refuel, I think, with some guys to go into the farm system. They have a lot of good arms, especially in the bullpen. Everyone knows about the Yankees bullpen. Sure. The top 3 guys, I'd go for any one of those. I think that it ends up being Chapman that goes.
I was going to say
they
Chapman.
hang on to Miller and Betances, I think, both of them. Chapman is the obvious one. He goes.
Ricky, thank you, Brandon. That was very efficient.
I like to think so.
Ricky, let me ask you, New York Mets, and I bring up the Mets. Let me talk about the Mets real quick, then I'll let you go on.
Okay.
The New York Mets, now they're an interesting team. Matt Harvey's gone for the year. Noah Syndergaard is pitching with bone chips in his elbow.
So is Matz.
And Steven Matz is as well. Zach Wheeler is still trying to come back from his Tommy John surgery. The Mets are in a very precarious situation right now. They can go either way. They brought in Jose Reyes. Now, whether your morals agree with the decision, we can leave that for a different conversation. Baseball-wise, this is a nice pickup for them offensively. Ricky, are they buyers or sellers?
I'm going to say buyers only because they have to be. They're the team that was in the World Series a year ago for the NL, and really what they're looking for is any kind of pitching. And for the start, at first I wanted to go, oh, they need a starting pitcher. Like you said, Syndergaard, he's going to be dealing with the bone spur. So is Matz. Is Wheeler really going to be able to come up and give him a push, especially if someone goes down? Then he's like your third, second starter because of an injury. I think they'll stay with it. They'll stick with Wheeler. Rich Hill could be on the market for them as well if they really think they need to add a starter. But the one guy I'm targeting, because they need some bullpen help, is John Axford. And the reason why, I know he's got a high ERA right now of 5.1. However, I look at this team. They're a team that went to the World Series last year. Most likely, I picked them to be the wild card team, one of the wild card teams.
Me too.
At the beginning of the season. He's got playoff experience. When he was with the Cardinals, they went all the way to the World Series. And that's kind of experience that they could use on their team, especially in the bullpen as we get to the dog days of the season.
Yeah, very good, Ricky. I like it because I would tend to agree with you. The Mets they have to be buyers. They have to.
They've got to.
Brandon.
You can't sell.
We got 4 more teams on tap, 2 for each. Brandon, let me ask you this. Kansas City Royals, buyers or sellers?
Kansas City Royals. Kansas City's been really riddled with injuries. It's been a tough season for them, actually. They had a nice hot stretch, but for the most part, it's been bad injury after bad injury. Gordon went down. He's back. Moustakas out for the season.
Tough.
But Chesler Cuthbert has been serviceable for sure down there at third base, if not better. The bullpen, they've got Wade Davis now on the 15-day DL. They've got... who is it? They've got Lorenzo Cain on the DL as well. Kansas City, they need help. They're 45-43, just like the White Sox. They're going for it. They, too, trying to defend the World Series from last year. They're buyers. Buyers, but they need pitching. I could see bullpen help, starting rotation help. Chris Young's been really bad this year. God bless him. He's been 2-8 with an ERA in the 5s or 6s. It's been ugly. It's been ugly. But I think that they definitely go for a starter in there. And there's a number of guys. You said Rich Hill, Jake Odorizzi from Tampa Bay.
It's going to cost a lot.
Tampa Bay, literally right now as we're talking, is still losing games. So it's been bad for them. So I think that Kansas City's got the pieces to really put this together if they can get healthy too.
I'm going to throw a position to you for the Royals, and I want you to kind of talk about it. Because when I was looking at the Royals, just a little bit, because I know that it was your side of it, but I'm like, I want to see what's going on. Starting pitching easily was my number one need. But right field's also a need for the Royals. And I look down, it's like, hey, you know what? Josh Reddick, he's going to be a guy who teams are looking for. His price may be too high, but do the Royals maybe on top of a pitcher go for a Reddick, go for a Jay Bruce too?
See, I don't know.
I
don't know about that for Kansas City. Possibly, but I'm not sure. I mean, I feel like that.
Orlando, Alex Gordon, Lorenzo Cain.
Paulo Orlando. Alex Gordon is obviously the solid one over there and left. I think they like Dyson out there in center field.
Dyson too. Yep. I don't think they have enough.
It gives them the speed
to give up.
Out in right field. Orlando, he's become kind of an everyday guy. I don't think that they dislike him. He's He's definitely come on. He always kicks the White Sox ass. So I don't know if there's enough to give up to say, hey, we need...
I don't think they're willing to give up that much value for, a pretty decent outfield that they already have.
And besides, Paulo Orlando, he can swing the bat.
Valuable.
He's got speed on the bases. They're looking for pitching.
All right, Kansas City Royals, buyers. Because they, defending World Series champions, and they're well represented in the All-Star game, gave them the chance to defend their crown at home in Game 7 of the World Series, if it does come to that point.
And Game 6, don't forget Game 6.
Ricky, let me ask you about this. The Colorado Rockies, are they buyers or sellers?
Sellers all the way. And this was
They're having a good season.
Well, this was one team where I'm like, what do they need? And I couldn't put my finger on it.
It's always starting pitching, but they're drafting starters.
What kills them right now is, yes, they're 40-48, but you're 16 games back into the division because the Giants, it's an even year. So the Giants are the Giants. And then they're 7 games back of the wild card. And the teams that are ahead of them in the wild card, I think that they're not going to, they may gain on one team. They're not going to gain on all of them and get into the wild card. To me, you have to be a seller. And the guy I'm looking at is Carlos Gonzalez.
I already said he ain't going anywhere.
You can find a team, though.
I mean,
you can find a team. And I know that Carlos Gonzalez, I can't remember what radio station it was on. He said, I guess today, that he never asked for a trade. Yeah. He's not mad about it. Yeah, he may come home and be upset because they lost or had a bad game, but he never complains and wants to go somewhere else. But if I'm the Rockies, I'm sitting there going, how much is he really helping us right now?
We're going to have to see with Cargo if the Rockies are willing to eat some of that contract or...
Charlie Blackmon.
Charlie
Blackmon.
That was the name I was going to throw out there.
That's the piece that leaves. Cargo stays, Blackmon goes.
But if Cargo were to leave, I'm going to throw these teams out to you guys because 2 of them are AL teams. One of them's an NL team, and I would hate if he went there. But I'm going to throw 3 out there. White Sox, Nationals, Yankees. Those were the 3 where I'm like, those could be the 3 top bidders for Cargo if he's on the market.
White Sox don't have nearly enough to give up for him. They could get a Jay Bruce, but they could not get a Carlos Gonzalez. They couldn't do it.
Agree with you, Brandon. It fits the White Sox because they're able to...
well, they need a big bat. They need offense.
Yeah, but they're also able to pick up his contract.
Mm-hmm. And the Yankees, I don't think they're not in a position to go and give up a ton of stuff to get him in a season where you're probably not going to win.
And they're, maybe moving Beltran to get Cargo?
The thing with the Yankees and why I put them on there is... Cashman wants to sell all the assets. However, you've got Hal Steinbrenner sitting there going, no, let's hang on to him. If they give in to Cashman and go into sell the asset mode, I think they can go for a Cargo.
Final AL team for buyers or sellers. For Brandon, let me ask you, Seattle Mariners. Now, this is an interesting team, a very interesting team. Robbie Cano is having a great year. His power's there. Nelson Cruz is fantastic. They have a great lineup. They're still in the mix in the AL. What do you think?
That's why I say that Seattle, their offense is too good. Their offense is too good to not be a buyer.
Sit back, right?
To just sit back. You have Hisashi Iwakuma, who at 9-6, he's been very good this season, but he's not your ace. He's not an ace. He's definitely a number 2 guy. King Felix, he was okay. I mean, he was kind of middle of the road. He wasn't really being the King Felix he was. Then he gets injured. Yep, Taijuan Walker too. I think that you look at these guys, but then you have to look at a Wade Miley who's been underwhelming, very underwhelming, and then Wade LeBlanc, and it just goes all the way down.
I can't believe Wade LeBlanc is still in the league.
It's just not.
Wade Miley, though, I will give him credit. He's having a better year than usually because, Wade Miley.
So for Seattle, they need starting pitching help. Again, that's another team I look at. Okay, could this be the team that goes for a Rich Hill, an Odorizzi, somebody like that? But I think too, Jerry DiPoto, who is their general manager, Joe Smith in the bullpen. The Angels have been bad. They have been very bad. I understand, they're all the same division here. But DiPoto was the one who signed Joe Smith to the 3-year contract in Anaheim. Does he maybe try and go out there, get an arm in the bullpen to kind of help Seattle out? But Seattle is a buyer. They have young gun hitters in the minors who they could give up. Seattle's a buyer, and I think that that's who they're going after. Pitching for sure, obvious.
Here's the one thing that I want to throw out there about the Mariners to piggyback off of Brandon. This is a team that my main note for them was they needed pitching. But they're not going to go for a rental. They're going to go for a non-rental guy. One of them we just saw come off the board with Drew Pomeranz, where, like we said, he's not a rental because he has the arbitration for 2 years. They are going to target guys who they can control. Mm-hmm. And it's not just going to be we're going to borrow you for the rest of the season and then you're gone.
I do want to say something really, really quick.
Go for it.
The White Sox start to fall before the trade deadline. They fall. Look at one name, Jose Quintana, and everyone would be going after him because they don't give up Chris Sale, but Jose Quintana could be the guy.
They can even sell him if they're competitive. Honestly, they could get a tremendous value for him.
Can I actually throw something out about that? This is something that I was listening to ESPN radio like I do Waddle and Sylvie. They had a caller call in, and I wouldn't push this button. But with all of us being Cub fans and Sox fans, I want to throw it out there. Brandon, if Theo called and said, I want to give you Kyle Schwarber for Quintana, do you push that button? Is your name Brandon?
I don't care.
Is your name
I'm
Brandon?
Jumping in because I am sick of hearing. No, I am sick of hearing Kyle Schwarber's name in trade talks. I'm going to squash this bug right now. He's not going anywhere.
No, I'm not.
He's Babe Ruth.
I'm not saying
and I wouldn't
he is.
do it. And I'm not giving up Schwarber for Quintana.
I just want to hear the White Sox answer.
It's irrelevant. That's not going to happen. I don't want to talk hypotheticals.
I just want to hear his answer, man. Let him answer it.
Brandon,
would you take Kyle Schwarber for Quintana?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. That's all I want to hear, Mikey.
As a White Sox fan, It doesn't make any sense, especially, I mean, if Schwarber was playing left field for the Cubs, the White Sox don't need any left fielder. Do they need a designated hitter? Like hell they do, but not for Quintana.
Oh, I hate how this conversation's going because I got to disagree with you. Why would the White Sox not get Kyle Schwarber for Quintana?
No.
This guy is Babe Ruth.
No.
Well,
No,
he can DH
Cubs,
for you. He
the
can
Cubs-
play an outfield
here's,
spot.
Here's,
He's
here's
one of
the whole thing. I know we need to get going because we're not even going to be able to get to the Bears talk.
Last one.
It doesn't make sense when pitching is the number one thing that you need. I can get another Kyle Schwarber. Trust me.
Can you?
We
though?
can't get a Quintana.
Can you though?
Either
No.
way, I'm not saying it's going to happen because I would hang on to Schwarber for the life of me. Like people say that Schwarber's his favorite child. Well, Schwarber's my favorite child too. But that trade would just be a win-win for the Cubs. I'd take a Quintana in a heartbeat.
What?
But we're not going to get him.
Why would you give up Schwarber?
I'm not saying give up Schwarber, but
If you could trade for Quintana,
if we did,
All right,
I'd
that's
take
it.
a Quintana. But
all right,
I'm
last
keeping
one, buyer
Schwarber.
seller. Sorry we're keeping you for so long, but lots of conversation because baseball season's crazy. Miami Marlins, and I bring up the Marlins because they are very much in the race in the NL East, and I honestly,
One game back of the wild
I
card.
personally believe they're more of a threat to make the playoffs than the New York Mets. Ricky, buyers or sellers?
They need to add to this rotation. Among their starters, a 4.21 ERA, which isn't too good, but it's not as bad as the Pittsburgh Pirates for starters not named Garrett Cole. And to me, I looked at names. I had 3 names of starting pitchers down. Rich Hill, 9-3, 2.25 ERA. I've said it before. Drew Pomeranz, who he's gone. He's off the table. And then I have Ivan Nova down. And the reason why I had Nova as the bolded guy is he's a guy that the Marlins, like Rich Hill, if you're looking for just this year, you go at Rich Hill. However, are the Marlins going to have, it's that price thing with Rich Hill. How much are you going to have to give up for him? I don't know. I'm not in the front offices. To me, I feel like they can get Nova at a cheaper price. He's 28. Yeah, he's 6-5 with a 5.2 or a 5.18 ERA. But here's the one thing I'm throwing out there. He's going up against AL bats. And how many times have we seen pitchers go from the AL to the NL have a little bit more success because the AL is a lot tougher of a
Sure.
league?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just throw one thing in, and then I'm done, I promise. So Drew Pomeranz, he came over from the obviously Padres goes to Boston, but he came over from the A's in the offseason for Yonder Alonso and Mark Zipchinski. What a frickin' bargain. And now the Padres and the Red Sox both coming out
Cashing
huge winners in this
Good
deal.
point.
So I
And
just
yet
wanted to say
again,
that.
Billy Bean cries alone under his desk.
Well, we'll see what Billy Bean does this offseason in this trade deadline because he's got pieces. I'm going to throw out some bullpen arms because that's really the thing teams are looking for is bullpen help. And there's a plethora of arms out there. You're going to have to give up some value for it. But Fernando Abad, Twins, Jeremy Jeffries, Will Smith from the Brewers, Sean Doolittle, he's bleh, but he's still got value as a lefty reliever, late inning guy. Ryan Madsen stepped in as a closer for the A's this year. He's having a good year. Anthony DeSclafani and Tony Cingrani from the Reds. Now, those two are interesting.
Played baseball with Sangrani.
Really?
I played Little League with him. Yep.
Wow.
Right here in
yeah,
Evergreen.
because he's that's awesome. Yeah, he is from Evergreen. Very cool, very cool. And Travis Wood.
Travis Wood.
Possibly. But I think the Cubs value Travis Wood because he's doing very well right now as a lefty
I
guy.
heard today that we may not make a deal and we may wait for the pitchers in our system to come up, like a Nathan.
Oh, yeah, right now, real quick, this is it. Joe Nathan, signed him, coming off an injury. He's going to be ready to go.
We got to make
Brian
a move.
Mattis,
We got to
lefty,
make a move.
coming up in AAA right now. Hey, Cubs, whatever. Cubs are going to be fine.
Can I throw 2 names out for you, the baseball guy, just to put the final kibosh on it?
Let's do it.
These are guys I'm looking at. MLB Daily Dish on SB Nation. These are 2 guys that they say will definitely be traded. I want to get your opinion on this. Luke Roy of the Brewers, Nunez of the Twins.
Yeah. Ooh, Eduardo Nunez is a very interesting piece. He's probably one of the better shortstops even available on the market right now. So, yes for Nunez, and maybe for Nunez because he's talented. I think the Twins might end up keeping him. But yes to Lucroy. He's got to go.
Where do you think he goes? Luke Roy, that is.
Boy, that's a good question because I'm sure a lot of teams need catching. So, Yeah, I'm gonna have to put that on the back burner for now. I can't give you. I can't
Talk
just
about that in a future BTP.
absolutely. We'll push that aside. But thanks guys for playing Buyers or Sellers. That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Dun, dun, dun. Is that the theme song?
Oh, man.
All
right,
no,
well,
that's the
hey.
feud.